Happy Friday, guys. Welcome back to Bald Father Bets. So we're going to lay out all the picks that we have for Saturday. Every single one of these we've already given to you in either a community post or in the video yesterday, but just want to have everything in one location, easy for you guys to grab to, and then let you know if you didn't grab these lines right when they came out, whether or not you should still play it now or not. But first, recap of last night where we had Thursday night football. We had the Giants plus the 5.5 for 2 units, which we got a win there, and that brought our overall record on the year to 87-55-1. So continuing a positive year and looking to stretch that out now as we move into college football week 5 and NFL week 4. A little bit on that game, ugly game, which is what we wanted, having the underdog plus the 5.5. But boy, did we get lucky with Brandon Aubrey missing that field goal at the end. It was kind of funny because he was trotting out there, and I was kind of thinking to myself, I was like, he's gonna miss a kick at some point, right? Like, he's not gonna miss every single kick, and you knew he was gonna miss one that was like, a 50-yarder or 48-yarder. He wasn't gonna miss one of those 60-yarders. Those he's just drilling every single time, and you could tell from the moment that it left his foot, it's like, oh, it's pushing right. And yeah, he missed it. So Giants got the win, Giants got the cover. Cowboys got the win, but Giants got the cover, and that was good for us for 2 units. So thank you, Brandon Aubrey, and thank you, Giants. So then we move into college football Saturday tomorrow. Again, no plays tonight. I looked at Miami, but it's just too many points. It's too many points. I know Virginia Tech is underwhelmed, but you have to think they have one of these games in them somewhere where they give a team a challenge that they're really not supposed to. Miami has looked unbeatable all year, but there has to be some kinks in the armor somewhere. I'm not willing to lay it with them. And then I want nothing to do with the Washington records line. That's it. Everything in your right mind says you should bet Rutgers, but the line is moving in the opposite direction. The book seems to know something there that the public does not. I want nothing to do with the Rutgers-Washington game. We'll probably watch some of that Miami game. So if there is a halftime play, I will definitely make a community post for you guys on that. But nothing pregame for Friday Night Football. So moving into college football Saturday, where we have several plays. And again, we've given out every single one of these already, just letting you know kind of where the line is now. And then if you didn't get it when we gave it out, whether or not you should grab it now. So we have Kansas State in that opening noon kickoff segment. They're laying 5.5. We took that for 2 units. That line bounced around. Actually, you could get it throughout the week at better points, but it's now come back up to 5.5, even 6 at some books. I could see that line getting to 7. As long as you grab Kansas State at 6 or better, I think you're fine. And again, we have that one for 2 units. Then we move into our afternoon games. And the reason I'm getting at you early is I will be at the Oklahoma-Auburn game. That's a afternoon kick in that 3:30 window. We're going to take Oklahoma. We have them minus 2.5 for 1 unit. That line has flipped now. Oklahoma is now the underdog due to the injury report, which came out, where essentially every player that they got back for the Tennessee game is back out and injured for the game against Auburn. Honestly, if you guys didn't take that when I gave it out, I just wouldn't touch it now. It's an official pick for us here at Bald Feather Bets, so we will count it towards our official record. We have 1 unit on Oklahoma minus the 2.5, but again, Auburn is actually the favored team now. You can get Oklahoma at +1, +1.5, +2 even. I just wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't lay points with Auburn, but if you essentially look at the injury report, Oklahoma's entire starting offense is injured. I just don't touch that game. Wish me luck being at it. Probably going to be a good old defensive battle. But it'll be my first game down on the plains, down in Auburn, so looking forward to the atmosphere. That's one of college football's better environments, so it's too bad those 2 teams aren't kind of performing to where they need to this year, but still looking forward to it. But I'll have a pick on it just for fun for my 1 unit with Oklahoma minus the 2.5, but I wouldn't touch it if I were you guys, if you guys didn't put that one in before. And if you did, then we're riding with it. We're riding with that Oklahoma minus 2.5 for 1 unit. Also in that afternoon slate, we're going to be taking Notre Dame -6 against Louisville. Like that one. Like that one a little too much. It's weird. Everyone loves Louisville, especially after Notre Dame did not perform well against Northern Illinois, but in every other game they have performed well. Notre Dame has a very elite defense. Louisville does not have a dynamic offense. I think this will be low scoring. I think this will be one of those things where Notre Dame pulls away late, just like they did against Texas A&M. And I like Notre Dame there laying the 6 because, like I said, I just don't see Louisville really putting together offensive drives back to back against that team. So also in the afternoon window, we are taking UCF and we are laying the 14 with them against Colorado. This is a run the ball versus a throw the ball type situation. UCF, one of the most dominant ground teams. Colorado gives up yardage on the ground. Colorado, one of the most dominant passing teams, and UCF is very gettable in the secondary. But I tend to pick the ground team when it comes to that. Also like the coaching matchup here with Malzahn against Sanders. Those two coaches actually really like each other. I know there's a lot of bad blood with Sanders and other coaches in college football, but one of them is not Malzahn. They are very fond of each other. But like Gustavo Malzahn to get this one done. I like that team. I like KJ Jefferson. I like the way they run the ball. They're my sleeper actually to win the Big 12 with the way their schedule shapes up and just the overall dominant rushing attack that they have. And this is probably Gus Malzahn's most dynamic quarterback. I didn't say best, I just said most dynamic quarterback he's had since Nick Marshall at Auburn. And I like them to I think this will be a high-scoring game, but I like them to kind of pull away late by multiple scores against Colorado. So UCF minus the 14, that's 1 unit against Colorado. Then we move into our evening slates. We have Penn State laying 18 against Illinois. Like that for 2 units. Love this one again. Weird how much I love it. Public is in love with Illinois after their win against Nebraska, and I understand why. Illinois looked great. They're a very good team. We've been on them most of the year so far. They've won for us now, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. But they are going up against a much superior team in Penn State, and James Franklin is one of the best coaches in college football of all time when he's a favorite up to 24 points. So when he is a favorite who should kind of dominate or control the game against another Power 4 team, Power 5, now Power 4, he tends to do very well. I think this is one of those situations. I essentially think that everything that Illinois would want to do against Penn State can do better against Illinois, while also having a dynamic passing game with Drew Aller and Andy Kotelnicki. So we're on Penn State. We're on them minus the 18 against Illinois. That one's going to be for 2 units. And then for the game of the week, probably what a lot of people would consider the game of the year thus far in college football, with Georgia coming to Tuscaloosa. We have Georgia minus the 1.5, and we have it for 5 units. That line has come down in between 1 and 1. So almost every single book now has Georgia -1, but at BetMGM, I believe, I think, you guys will have to check me on that one, you can get them at +1. I love it. I like Alabama. I like what they've built. I like what they've done with their football program. They're the #1 football program of the 2000s, but Georgia's in a very good spot here. Kirby Smart has not lost coming off of a bye week since 2018. I think everyone knows his record since 2021. He's lost 2 games. Both of them were to Nick Saban in Alabama. I think Alabama's very good. They've been very good in big plays. Georgia does not give up big plays. What Alabama has not shown is methodical offense, which you need methodical offense against Georgia if you're going to kind of break them and crack them. I like Georgia here. I like the revenge factor of knowing that, hey, we were probably the best team in the country last year and Alabama kept us out of the playoff. They shouldn't have lost the game last year, but what happened is they got down early. Then they're not really built to kind of come from behind, and Alabama ultimately got the win, especially with Milroe being a dynamic quarterback. And on those gotta-have-it third downs, he was able to convert some of them with his legs or with scrambling and then finding the open receiver. I think there will be a good game plan from Kirby and Georgia. I like the fact that they struggled against Kentucky. I love it, actually. I think that coaching staff will use that as pretty good motivation as they move into this game. So we have Georgia minus the 1.5 for 5 units. Love it at Georgia +1, which you can still get now at BetMGM. I am been doing this for a little while now. This is some of the most peculiar line movement I've ever seen. The public is on the dog here. Bama has not been a home dog since 2007, and that's very difficult for some bettors, including sharp bettors, to pass up. So books tend to have a lot of liability right now with Bama. So the move, I understand, but them willing to have Georgia as essentially a have to win the game and you win your bet, they don't have to cover any sort of spread. I imagine they're going to get some pretty strong buyback from some sharps either tonight or early in the morning. Georgia doesn't lose football games. Yes, they have lost to Alabama, but that was with Nick Saban, and Nick Saban knew Kirby Smart kind of in and out. He knew exactly what he liked to do. He knew how to have an offensive game plan early that would get him the lead in the game and then would have to have Georgia play from behind. I know Kalen DeBoer wins. I'm well aware of what his record is in college football, whether it was at the FCS level or FBS level, it doesn't matter, because when he was at the FCS level, guess what? He had FCS guys too. But I just like Georgia here. Not a gut pick. There's the numbers back me, the models back what I'm saying. My model backs what I'm saying. It's not a situation like I had when I took Wisconsin, and that was just a full gut pick, but I like it. I like Georgia. So Georgia minus 1.5 for 5 units, and again, you can actually get that at a better number now. And that's it. That's all we have on the weekend thus far. If anything does come up that moves from a lean to a play, I will post that in a community post for you guys. And again, make sure you have those notifications on so you can see those community posts. I made a few more today when it comes to NFL games where if you didn't grab them right away, line actually already moved. So we'll do a video for you guys tomorrow or Sunday morning recapping everything we've already played in the NFL, and then also I will pick every game against the spread as I do every Sunday, and then we'll get back at you guys on Monday for the one Monday Night Football game that we have not yet played. But thank you guys. Please comment, subscribe to this channel, like, share it around. We'll always keep these free. Just want to grow this channel. It's been a lot of fun so far this year. Really enjoy the interaction with you guys. And again, just make sure you're subscribed, make sure those notifications are on, so that way we can keep winning together. But appreciate it. Have a good Friday night. Enjoy the games, enjoy going out. And if you guys are in harm's way with regards to the hurricane, please stay safe. And go Auburn. Go Auburn. Well, I bet I know you, but don't tell my girlfriend. She's taking me. So go Auburn. She bought me a shirt and everything.